I'm Maureen Proctor with Meridian Magazine, and we're here in Oman at the southern cap of the Arabian Peninsula, the best candidate for Nephi's Bountiful. I'm here with Rick Hauk. And Rick, we've been here now for a week, so we've had chance to look over the site. It takes a long time, of course, to understand a site archaeologically, but what have you come to understand in the week that you've been looking at things?
Well, this is very interesting because to me it appears that we have a very early aceramic occupation of a lot of people building a lot of walls and a lot of structures here, including ceremonial structures and a mound. And then later period, the Muslims coming back in and reoccupying a lot of this and putting up little mosques in their cemeteries. So we have, it looks like, two major occupations, probably punctuated at times with very small groups arriving either by sea or by land, staying here long enough to put inscriptions in the cave, or staying here long enough to get some resources out of the lagoon, and then moving on.
How can you begin to tell the age of these things?
Well, the easiest way, of course, is if there's a date. We don't have any dates. The second easiest way is if there's ceramics. Well, we have a few ceramics, but they aren't very helpful at this stage. Another way is the patination in the rocks. Minute colonies of bacteria form on these rocks. They feed off the clay particles in the air, and it takes thousands of years for them to start to develop and turn dark. These rocks in this structure behind me, for instance, were tan, kind of much tanner than my shirt, but when they started. But it's been centuries and millennia it takes before that patination develops and you can actually see how old it is.
Do we have any idea if any of this stuff was here when Nephi and his family were here?
I've seen hand choppers in association with some of these occupations, these huts, and so I would say this, and this is my best assessment at this early stage, there was a big occupation in here long before Lehi arrived, and all of these walls and all of this situation was intact for him to utilize when they came here.
That's what makes it fascinating for us, is to think that any of this material might have been here when Nephi and his family might have come to this place. But is there a possibility that none of this was already here? I guess there are differing opinions on the age.
Yeah, there are differing opinions. And one of the opinions is that structures like this, for instance, and the walls and everything are Islamic. That's an opinion. In my opinion, that's only maybe 20% viable. In my opinion, the fact is that I think that this is much earlier than the Lehi saga, and therefore I'm thinking in terms of 80% probability that we have a much earlier occupation, very extensive, and that was later lived on by the Muslims.
So this is Maureen Proctor reporting from Oman, and this in fact may be some material that Nephi and his family might have seen if they came to this place to build the ship.